Gun fam, what's up? It's the Gun Brother. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're 30 days out from SB1 becoming effective in October, and I wanted to give you guys exactly what the restrictions are, show you how they're written, and what we could be facing barring any injunctions or anything like that. So let's get into it. This is going to be an objective run through the most restrictive part of the laws. Again, I just want you guys to be able to read it, understand it. You may have heard rumors about this, rumors about that, and this is for anyone with a Maryland concealed carry or HGP handgun permit. And again, this is objective, so I'm gonna keep my opinions out of it. So first, I'm gonna go through the law for you, how it's written, and I'll go back and tell you what the definitions of the words are, so you can see what it really means. So, scrolling down. All right, here's how the law is written. A person may not wear, carry, or transport a firearm in an area for children or vulnerable individuals. Okay, we'll define that in a minute. A person may not wear, carry, or transport a firearm in a government or public infrastructure area. And a person may not wear, carry, or transport a firearm in a special purpose area. Now, let's get into what those mean, because that's where it gets sticky. So first, an area for children or vulnerable individuals. So that is a preschool, pre-kindergarten facility or the grounds of the facility, private primary or secondary school or the grounds of the school, also healthcare facility, and then we get the government or public infrastructure areas. And this was pretty much already in place. Buildings owned, they kind of got really specific about it, but buildings or any part of a building owned or leased by a unit of state or local government, a building or public or private institution of higher education, a location that is currently being used as a polling place in accordance with Title 10 of the election law article or for canvassing ballots, an electric plant or electric storage facility, and a gas plant, and a nuclear power plant facility. Those were kind of added in, but previously it already said you couldn't carry in state buildings, things like that. Now, finally, this is where the kicker comes in. Special purpose area. A location licensed to sell or dispense alcohol or cannabis for on-site consumption. That's pretty much every restaurant above a carryout. Stadiums and museums, racetrack, or a video lottery facility. Now, I don't know what the definition of that is. I have to look that up. It's in section 9-1A-01. But if a liquor store has a couple of screens where people sit there and play Keno, if that constitutes a video lottery facility, that means you can't carry in the liquor store that has those screens. So that's the first part. Super restrictive. So, like I said, some of it was already in place, but to say you can't carry in a restaurant that serves alcohol to be consumed on the premises, even if you're not drinking, that is that's new for Maryland. That is already in place in DC, not in Virginia. And I say that for people that live right here in the DMV area. Now, next part, a person wearing, carrying, or transporting a firearm may not enter or trespass in the dwelling of another unless the owner or the owner's agent has given express permission either to the person or to the public generally that they can wear, carry, or transport firearms inside of their dwellings. So each person has to give permission to anyone else to carry in their home. And then the next section says, a person wearing, carrying, or transporting a firearm may not enter or trespass on property unless the owner or the owner's agent has posted a clear and conspicuous sign indicating that it is permissible to wear, carry, or transport a firearm on the property, or the owner or the owner's agent has given the person express permission to wear, carry, or transport a firearm on the property. Now let's go up to our definitions. We need a definition for dwelling and a definition for property. So the definition for dwelling means a building or part of a building that provides living or sleeping facilities for one or more individuals. And it says it does not include the common elements of a condominium, the property of a cooperative housing corporation other than a unit. So I guess the specific dwelling or home of the person inside the co-op. And then common areas of a multifamily dwelling are not included. So it's basically saying, I guess, the specific apartment unit. You can't walk into someone's apartment, someone's condo or something like that, carrying a firearm or any other home without their permission. Lastly, property means a building. It's as simple as that. Property just means a building. So it says you cannot wear, carry, or transport a firearm on property without permission. Again, opinions aside, I'm just giving you this objectively. The other thing, the last thing, this is kind of just closing up some loose ends that were created by shall issue. Before shall issue, when you got your may issue permit, the permit stated specifically what the purpose was for, that you could carry your firearm. Once shall issue came, Maryland just said, look, every wear and carry permit is just to wear and carry, period. However, prior to shall issue, those wear and carry permits also said you could open carry, basically. There's nothing. If you had a permit, you could open carry. So they've kind of closed that loophole. And the way they've done that is by saying, subject to the subsection C of this section, a permit issued under this subtitle shall restrict the wearing, carrying, and transporting of a firearm by the person to whom the permit is issued to wearing, carrying, or transporting a handgun concealed from view. Okay, so they do go on to kind of specify that though, which I was a little bit surprised by. Under to consider it to be concealed, it simply says under or within an article of the person's clothing or within an enclosed case. Okay, so that's how it was worded. And it also goes on to specify about printing. So it says the requirement of this subsection to keep a handgun concealed is not violated by the momentary and inadvertent exposure of a handgun or the momentary or inadvertent exposure of the imprint or outline of a handgun. So that's some of the first verbiage I've seen specifically mentioning printing, but it's saying that that does not mean that the handgun is not concealed. So just a couple of things. Those are the things that stood out the most to me. The worst part about the whole thing, as far as I'm concerned, is all of this is going to cost more. You have to pay the state more money for less usage of your rights. Incredible. Again, this is an objective video. I will give my opinion later. And so the general exemptions at the time, under the circumstances to wear, carry, and transport a handgun as part of a person's official equipment, persons exempted are security guards licensed under Title 19, correctional officers, railroad police officers, and employed of an armored car company acting within the scope of employment. And then we also included elsewhere in some of those exemptions are going to be retired law enforcement and current law enforcement, and those officers with the LEOSA permits that they can carry just about anywhere. But that's it. For the average everyday guy, these laws are looming to go into place on October 1st, 2023. I know the NRA has filed a lawsuit for relief for citizens. So as of today, September 30th, haven't had anything come through to say otherwise. So this is information that you currently need to know, you need to understand. If you have any questions or comments, I'm sure you will fire those off in the comment section. And with that being said, the Gun Brothers out. I will talk to you soon.